It happens almost every time. There's like 6 out of 7 times going from the transition from starting soon to starting will work. And then there's that one time where it's just incredibly awkward and it's just like da 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 da. Just like stops.
It's too much to handle.
It's too much to handle. It's too much to handle. But welcome everybody. It's I'm so glad to see everybody. Bright and shiny day. It is such a beautiful day outside, unless you're in Canada, where apparently the world is falling apart. There's a major storm going on. It's pretty nasty.
It throws wood at you, so be careful. Don't go outside.
I mean, it has been
flying.
known to
There's
throw some
flying
wood.
wood in Toronto. You got some grass flying types. Should be a little careful.
Some
Also,
grass
Mike,
flying.
we should open audition, Mike.
You know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Uh, is this something that I have done? Is the question. No is the answer. Kevin, have you been?
Pretty good. I just woke up like usual.
Yeah. Kevin has awoken from his slumber to record Pokésports.
On time today.
On time. He's done it.
I try my
Canada,
best.
he means Toronto. No, that's true. Yeah, depending on where you live in Canada, could be good, could be not.
Isn't all of Canada Toronto?
I mean, yeah, that's why I said it. Because that is absolutely the fact. Folks, there are people saying congrats. What are people saying congrats for?
What do we do?
What did we do?
Thank you, though.
Yeah.
Congrats on weathering the storm.
Don't worry, folks. That wasn't. It wasn't actually your Discord. That was mine. Yeah, it is. What were we just talking about?
Canada. And Toronto.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it falling apart.
Oh wow! So Pierre's saying that Quebec is actually fine right now. So guess it's time to move. Kevin, you want to join me in Quebec?
Sure.
How's your French?
Est-ce que je peux aller à la toilette?
Whoa, dude, that's next.
That's
level.
as much. That's the only French you need. All the other French is irrelevant.
They do have poutine.
Ooh.
Have you ever had? You've had poutine.
Yeah.
We call it that.
Not
here.
like
They call it poutine.
I'm probably not as good as their poutine, but I've dunked some French fries in some gravy before.
I've dunked French fries. I've dunked a French fry or two in my day. All right. I see you dunking French fries all up in this. I like it.
Dunkin' French fries. That's the new Dunkin' Donuts affiliate. Dunkin' French fries.
Fair. Folks, we have quite a bit to go over today, quite a bit to do today, quite a bit to talk about today. And I hope you're all ready for it, because we're talking about some super, super fun ethics stuff. Ooh, ethics.
Spicy.
Kevin's all... You did your post-secondary, basically, that.
What's a post-secondary?
Oh, so high school is secondary, right?
Oh, well, high school is high school.
Oh, okay, right, of course. That is fair. I'm going to bring you down. Forehead's a little... Framing's a little off. There you go. Look at that.
I shrunk.
This is how we do things before. I want to make sure that your forehead is just in line with mine. You know what I mean?
We need the same forehead.
We gotta have the same forehead. What are you gonna be, just like 7 feet tall and I'm like way down here?
I need compensation for real life.
Don't let them know how tall you are. You'll lose your powers. All right, folks. Today, let's go. This is Pokésports podcast number 54. One where it exploded about halfway through. Oh,
wait,
tell how it's happened.
Both of us?
Yeah.
Oh no.
This message will explode very soon. Oh, there you go. Now set your properly. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast. I'm Mike, and Pretty soon, I'll be playing with one Pokemon on the field somewhere else.
I'm Kevin, and my height was reset properly.
Before the pod, for those listening right now, instead of watching, before the podcast, we went through this whole thing about resizing so that people were the proper height. Know what I mean? You just got to do.
I've been resized.
You've been resized. Kevin, it's a new week. It's a new day. It's a new life.
About time.
About time. And that's what I say too. About time. I'm gonna be moving. I'm gonna be moving next week.
Ooh.
If there's a podcast on Sunday, I am going to be wildly impressed with myself and very proud. Because
Mike's gonna move next doors, guys.
I'm kind of moving on Saturday.
You can do it.
I can.
The whole thing? Or have you been like inching your way to the end? If that makes sense.
I've been kind of inching my way. Kind of,
okay,
sorta.
That's good.
Yeah.
I saw some progress shots.
Yeah.
Your room looks nice.
Oh, okay.
Mike has like a green wall and then a white wall.
So like this behind me, this whole scene behind me, that basically the last thing to be torn down. I'm not going to anything else until podcast, and then it all goes down. It all goes into a box. It gets shipped over.
Oh no!
Yeah.
After the podcast today.
What's that? After the podcast today? Yep.
I'm
gonna tear it all down.
What about the closet, Mike? How are they gonna know what's in the closet?
Oh, they'll know what's in the closet. We don't have to worry about that. They're gonna find out what's in the closet. I'm gonna have to obviously let whatever it is out before I go, because what am I just gonna leave here and leave whatever it is in the closet in the closet?
He probably deserves to stay in the closet. But yes.
You know, so
I mean, I guess you gotta let it out. That is true.
Yeah, that's it. Well, folks, if you are listening to us today on this beautiful November 15th, 2020, it is National Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day, which we will be
live.
Actually, kind of stop. Yeah,
right
live.
Now. Live.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna take my camera, okay, and put it right in the kitchen. Okay, gonna what's up, and what do we got in here? Oh, hey, you know what? We've got at least 3 frozen pizzas. What's this underneath here? Is that a log of kielbasa? Ooh. Chop that up.
Are these things actually in your fridge?
No.
Can you name something that's actually in your fridge?
Actually in my fridge?
Like if you open your fridge right now, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Okay, easiest thing would be leftover today. No, there was no. Maybe some potato and fries. Best things I've ever had.
You should make some poutine with that.
Ooh, some poutine, yeah. No, we had some leftover Thai food in there for a little while. I think it left the premises today. Yeah. What about you? What's one thing that's in your fridge?
Ketchup.
Okay.
That's it. Just
you know, I actually don't have any ketchup in my fridge.
Well,
we ran out like a month ago, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Like buy a new thing of ketchup?
This is how I know you're Canadian.
Right? Well, I'm moving out.
You couldn't survive in the States.
Exactly. Am I gonna bring like a less than full bottle of ketchup? I don't think so.
You're supposed to have ketchup that's expired at least 17 years ago. I don't even know if we have
packets anymore. I think we had packets at one point, but we've been going through those, man.
Do those packets last forever? You know those packets you just pick up at Burger King, stick in your fridge, and then hope for the best? There's no expiration date on it, but they've been there for years.
Oh, no. Oh, probably
I mean, it's
not.
just tomatoes and vinegar and salt. They should last a long time, right?
Hopefully. A little bit of sugar, too.
Hey, guys. Does ketchup expire?
That's your question of the week. Question of the week. Leave it as a YouTube comment. Oh my gosh. If you're listening to us on November 18th, that's Wednesday, it's Mickey Mouse's birthday. And that's not Mickey Mouse, but it's the closest that we're going to get on this Pokemon-themed podcast. We've got to keep everything Pokemon-themed. But I was watching you stream the other day, and you found out that Mickey Mouse actually shares a birthday with Minnie Mouse?
Yeah.
Oh.
What a coincidence.
Is that okay?
So that brought me to the conclusion that they're actually twins, and
Oh no.
this is becoming a lot
And
worse
this
than
is
it
not
should.
great. Oh boy. Hey,
Apparently, he's 91 years old today. By the way,
wow.
he looks great.
Wow. That's not bad. Looking great for 91.
Yeah,
Goodness.
man. He's gotten color over the years.
Yeah. All right,
Oh
folks.
no.
We Hey? What happened?
Someone made like a Mickey Mouse if he were 91.
Oh, no, don't make me Google this.
No, I'm sending it to you. You don't even
Oh,
have
I
to.
don't want that either. I
It's
want that
just
even less. The point is, I don't want it.
it's
I don't want it. Oh,
disturbing.
no. Let's go over to this screen real quick. Folks, here's the thing. We have quite a few announcements. We have 2 announcements today. So by quite a few, I mean more than one.
Thanks, Mike.
One of which I'm going to drop right now, and one we're going to drop at the end of the first of 2 announcements is that at the end of this podcast, and this is specific to everybody who watches the video version of this, at the end of this podcast, we will no longer be streaming this podcast live on Twitch. We'll still be streaming it live. We're just moving it from Twitch to YouTube. YouTube has pretty much been our platform since the dawn of wherever we were making content. And so we figure, you know what? Their live streaming is up there now. We can go and do it. So again, as kind of an additive to that, since we'll be streaming this live on YouTube, these episodes will not be coming out on Wednesday anymore. But what that means is that YouTube will actually be getting these episodes earlier. So this is technically a really good announcement for YouTube. Not as good of an announcement for Twitch, but yeah, you will be getting these episodes on YouTube on the day that we record them. They will live there, and you'll be there. Same time, same place, all that stuff.
Different place.
Yeah, exactly. Same time, different place. Exactly. So yeah, this podcast will be coming out as a stream rather than a video on YouTube. But that does mean that on Wednesday, when the podcast would be normally coming out, you'll still get a Pokemon themed video. So either a battle or a how-to or any of the stuff that we've been making on.
And if you listen to the podcast and you feel like watching a podcast very early, you could always check YouTube for that podcast on Sunday.
There you go.
Unedited, but it'll be there.
Yeah. And I mean, some of you may have already noticed that we've been streaming a lot more on YouTube over the past week. I know that we did a public one on Wednesday and on Saturday. Kevin did both of those. I did private. I did a private one on Thursday. Kevin did a private one on Tuesday, just for the patrons. So that's all stuff that's being developed again in year 2 of Pokésports. We're trying to really streamline things and make sure that we're going in the best direction possible. For us right now, that would be today's podcast, last one on Twitch. Anyway, how about we get into some Smogon news? Ooh.
A lot of things happened this week.
A lot of things happened this week. As they mentioned that they would do, Smogon has divided the month of November into 2 separate months, basically, just in terms of their stats. So for you guys today, we now have the tier changes for November number 2, which is halfway through the month of November 15th. Some highlights to this thing. Nidoking, Buzzswole, and Barraskewda are rising to OU this month. So you can go ahead and toss a Nidoking in there because he's good now. And Barraskewda, because Swift Swim is good. It always has been. There's no Dynamax, so you don't have to worry about it.
Buzzswole and Nidoking are going to OU. Those are just 2 Pokemon I would never even like consider.
I know, right?
Belong in OU,
right? It's nuts. Oh, and I'm seeing some questions in the chat as well. Just one quick thing to circle back. Of course, the podcast will still be on Spotify. It'll still be on all the audio platforms. It's just removing. So that's still going to be dropped on Wednesday. So we're all good there. Anyway, back to this. 62 Pokemon have dropped out of UU to RU this month. So
big oof.
I wish. And when I talked about this with Kevin, he was like, "So where's your Poke Rap?" That's gonna haunt me until the day I die, I think. Every time there's like a big list of Pokemon, I did that to myself. Every time there's a big list of Pokemon, people are gonna be like, "Hey, so where's the rap?" Someday. It's actually not coming. This isn't me building up to the rap. This might be like a really crappy build up if people think that that's what's going to happen. It's not.
Oh my god, it's happening. It's happening.
No. Aerodactyl.
Why would you start with the worst one? Is Aerodactyl. So many syllables. Good luck.
No. Didico? Ooh, Galarian Articuno. Didico is how my brain went. Ditto is now dropping out of OU down to PU. So people really don't like Ditto.
You remember in the beginning of Sword and Shield when Ditto was like the most used Pokemon in Sword and Shield?
I do remember that.
Okay, well, rip.
Yeah. This list was far too long for one graphic, so I had to split it up into two. So if we look at the drops from RU to NU, NU to PU, they're just, whatever. Those are your Pokemon. Either they're your favorites and they're just unfortunately not great, or they're just Pokemon. The one that I'm looking at here though is Mr. Rhyme. Mr. Rhyme dropped from PU to ZU. Kevin, how do you feel about Mr. Rhyme?
I have a newfound respect for Mr.
Do you
Rhyme.
really?
Yeah, I there's something about using a Pokemon that's so bad that people don't know what it does, and then it working that just makes it do well online, especially on ladder. So like, no one knew that Mr. Rhyme got fake out. No one knew that Mr. Rhyme had Ice Shard to proc weakness policy when I used it. Everyone just looks at Rhyme, they're like, oh, screen cleaner. But he's so much more, because guess what? I never used screen cleaner once, but I used fake out every single time.
Well, I mean, now that we're already past the advent of G-Max Lapras, like screen cleaner isn't the most relevant thing. I mean, I say we're past it, but it's still kind of there.
Can we talk about why Metagross is in such a low tier right now? It took a drop to RU? Why?
Yes, it did. It dropped from UU to RU. Very true.
Metagross.
Regigigas as well.
Yeah, or I guess in singles. Yeah, in singles. I mean, but the singles has that weird, stupid, like Confuse Ray Thunder Wave set, right? That you just stall out until your slow start goes away.
Swag or Parafusion, yeah. Almost said Swag Fusion. That's swagger.
That and Pokérap starts.
So a lot of drops down to RU this time around. The tier just doesn't have a lot of Pokemon left anymore.
Fair enough. Everything that was OU dropped to UU. Everything that was UU dropped to
including RU. Calyrex. Calyrex is ZU now.
Legendary Pokemon.
Legendary Pokemon.
Is so bad. It's bad.
Needs its horse.
Yeah. I mean, every good knight needs its horse, Mike.
Every kiss begins with K. In esports news, the Tundra Tourney, the next online single battle competition from Sword and Shield, where you can only use Crown Tundra Pokemon, is now underway. It's going into, or it might actually be done by now. It's midnight somewhere, and if it's midnight now, then it's usually until like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, something like that.
Yes,
usually it.
I'm going to agree.
I'm very curious to see the stats on this one, because this was Crown Tundra Pokemon only, right? So like you've got like you can quite easily look at like singles P6 and be like, oh, okay, like Landorus Therion's way up there, and Celesteela and Tapu Finney's way up there. But it's also got all of the other Pokemon that good before. So like you don't know if the removal of any like non-Crown Tundra threats will change the list of the Crown Tundra.
This includes the horses too, right?
Yeah. Gonna be like super number one. So I'd like to put out a request. Because I've been moving, I haven't been participating. So if anybody has the or has participated single country tourney, please do send that to me. I really want to see the stats of most used.
I have a feeling like if the Ghost Rider Calyrex is available, I think it's gonna destroy everything because it's singles, right? So Spectrier is like super good in singles, from what I heard. It's actually funny how different singles and doubles are on the horse debate. It's like one is one side, one is the other completely.
Right.
Uh,
It's very true. So we're gonna have like number one, number two, and it's just gonna be like a battle between Calyrex S and Calyrex I.
horse and horse.
Yeah, Calyrex G. What do they call that? That Spectre Rider and some kind of rider?
It's Ghost Rider and Ice Rider, I
Oh,
think.
does it?
Yeah.
Is it really called Ghost Rider?
Yeah, no, I think it actually is.
Nice. Awesome. In more VGC news, what? We've got the Joe UX9's X9 Streamer Cup 3, which was announced and revealed, and all the people were revealed, and now it's done. So, yay!
Very fast announcement.
Very fast announcement. The first 8 competed players were Menino Jardim, Necro Gaming, Visualing, K-Cray, Steph of Anime, Ally VGC, Sierra Dawn, and Alexis VGC. The second announced set was Poke Alex, The Battle Room, Jin Furai, Joe himself, Joe UX9, Fevzi OE, Steve from Pokemon Cast, Harry Pokemon, and Cybertron VGC. And then it's done now.
Who won?
Who won? In first place was actually the Battle Room. You can see him on this screen right here. In second was Visualing, who I believe you can see on this screen up here. Yep. And third was Harry Pokemon, also on this screen. It looked like Joe and Sierra Dawn put together a similar team, or put together the same team, because they're both using an Eevee. Meme. Must be. I'm so curious to see like how any of those battles did with Eevee, or if they were like actually used. Because that team had an Eevee, a Clefairy, Rotom Heat, Urshifu, Neolego, and
I gotta say, I'm searching through Pikalytics to look up any type of usage stat on Eevee. No luck. So I legitimately do not know what it did. I know that it gets adaptability, which is strong, and it has a Gmax move that I don't remember.
That's right. It has the Let's Go move. The Let's Go.
No, they don't. I don't think so.
No, those ones don't?
No, those are not allowed because that would be busted.
Oh.
I think when you try to make them battle ready, they just delete all the broken moves from them.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Gmax Cuddle, it's attract. Oh.
Right.
Oh. I guess that's cute.
But actually, this set of people instead of teams was pretty interesting, because as far as I can see, apart from Joe and Sierra, everybody brought in a unique. There were no. I'm hoping that this is correct. Like once over and like looking at all the teams, didn't look like it, but everybody's unique, which is really cool for this meta.
Yeah, for the most part.
Speaking of which, Players Cup 2 has also released their final players list and teams. Some of the interesting stats in this one: of the 16 teams, 9 of them include at least one unique Pokemon. So Pokemon that doesn't appear in any other team on this list. So things like Marowak A, things like Sylveon, things like, I'm looking around for just one more. Oh, a rule of threes. Oh, there it is. The Drizzle, Politoed, and Kingdra set. Even has an Entei in it. It's unique. Another one of the interesting stats, Glastrier and Urshifu top the usage stats in this one at 7 occurrences out of the 16. And coming in second is Incineroar, Tapu Fini, and Thundurus, having a 3-way tie at 5 of 16.
Not bad.
bad. When we looked at this team, one of the first things Kevin said was this meta is spicy.
Yeah, I'm like a lot of people. I'm actually surprised with how spicy it actually is. I was expecting it to be very over centralized and very boring. But I mean, you got your obvious top Pokemon, right? You got your Glacier, you got your Urshifus, your Finneys, your Insins, your Thundurus, etc., etc.
Okay.
But you got so many other Pokemon just like sprinkled in here. Like you got Raichus, you got Entei, Sylveons are even top 16 in Oceania. Like that's crazy to me.
Right?
Like a Sylveon is able to make it this far down the line in Pokemon.
It's intense. It's crazy. It's so good. And I'm loving this meta. Hardcore loving this meta. I just turned off my noise gate on my stream filter because I think that people are saying that my voice is cutting out, and that might just be a thing with the gain.
They said mine too, so it might be the dual stream if I had to guess.
That could probably be it. Anywho, the PokePod Cup, last thing, the PokePod Cup is officially underway. This is a collaboration event between ATX, VGC, Pokésports, that's us. Have you heard of them?
Hi.
And Little Root Lessons. There are 90 total players, 95 unique Pokemon, and a whole lot of heart. Yeah. It's been fun. I've been watching the battles happen. Kevin, I know you're a part of the Discord as well. Yeah, it's just been a real good time. We've been modding it. Tofu and myself and a few other people, representatives from the actual collaboration. Yeah, lots of people in this one, a lot more than I was initially expecting. But that, to me just says, hey, you got to do more of these. This is a lot of fun.
It looks like fun. It's fun. It's fun, like stopping. Like I'm not competing in this one, but it's fun stopping in there and seeing what people are bringing, especially like representatives of Pokésports. I get to be their impromptu coach.
Yeah,
just be like, don't let me down, guys. You're representing me here.
I remember you straight up come in. You came in. You were like, "How's it going? How's it going, sons?" I was like, "Oh."
I was like, "Are you winning, sons?
Are you winning, sons?" That was it.
And then the first response I get is 0-1. I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah. I remember that. That was Dark Joe. He's a funny guy. I love him. 61% of the competitors for this tournament are Pokésports listeners. So if you are out there and you're listening to this right now, we just want to say we are rooting for you. Get them. Get them. Teach that like legit VGC group of people from Texas and the amazing listeners at Little Root Lessons. Teach them how we do things.
Let them know. Let them remember the name Pokésports. Let them shiver in their fears and dreams. Let them quake
PSP
at the sight of a Shedinja on your team for some reason. And hey, you want to run a Seismitoad? I guess you can. But but good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. Folks, today we are going to be discussing something that's been a topic in Pokemon for years, for actual years, more than half a decade at least, if not an actual decade. Some people appreciate it, some people don't, but we're going to chat about it and see where people land. We're going to be talking about genning, or generating Pokemon. If you've been a competitive player for a while, you might have known people who gen. You might have genned yourself. You might have received gen Pokemon, whether you knew it or you didn't, or you're at least aware that this is a thing. And if you're not, we're going to talk to you all about the concept as well as the divisive nature of it when we get back from the break in just a second. And now we're on a break. And that was just boom. This is the first time that I've ever talked about, like, I've never given an intro to something and then broke. I've never done it, Kevin.
We always get segued really quickly.
We always segue. I didn't let it happen today.
Michael's like, don't even get Kevin the opportunity to say anything.
Yeah, for real.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. Folks, it's good to see everybody. I'm lightly reading the stream chat because, of course, this is a episode with a lot of words to it. So can only like really read one thing at a time, but it looks like everybody is, interacting pretty nicely. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see y'all. Yeah, Galison, this is going to be a spicy discussion topic today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we both have big opinions on this one. The Rev Heads says, how do we join Pokésports? Well, there are a couple ways. Right now, today, I would not suggest putting through a subscription on Twitch. Mainly because we are going to be going on YouTube starting next week, as the Rev Heads already is. Lots of ways you can join. You can either go through Patreon at patreon.com/PokésportsPodcast, where we have all these different kinds of tiers to suit all different kinds of needs, all the way from, coaching down to just plain old wanting to support us. So there's that, as well as you can go and join the Discord, which may or may not be in the description right now. If it's not in the description of this video, it sure will be in the description of any of the others. So go and join that. There's a lot of conversation always happening. We're getting pretty close to 1,000 members on our Discord. So if you're not a part of that, definitely, consider, getting on board on that one. It's a real good time over there.
1,000 members. That's a lot of people to babysit. Guys, behave.
I hate how you consider it babysitting. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people saying that it was cutting. The audio is cutting. I hope that it's a little better now. I'm not 100% sure what was happening, but I just fixed the most likely thing that it was, I think. So, anyway. Tofu even says, "LOL, you don't babysit."
I don't.
Kevin's parenting style is very hands off.
Yeah, my parenting style is, someone else is taking care of it. It's like you just let your child run free in the park, and then they fall down, and then you look at them fall down, and you're just like,
"You good?
Someone
All right.
else will get it."
Yeah.
Are you winning, son?
Nah, Dad, I fell. Get good.
Get better, son.
Get better, son.
Yeah. Okay, Dad.
Yeah, that's fun. All right. So yeah, today we are talking about Jenning. I have my handy dandy aloe juice that I bought from my local Shoppers Drug Mart.
I have water.
And it's empty. So
time to go right back there during the podcast.
During the podcast, during a storm. Like, who cares?
Hey, the wind will help you get there faster.
But then it'll be harder getting back.
No, because it's gonna change direction by the time you come back, Mike.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you put in a support ticket with the weather?
No, I'm creating the weather.
Oh my god.
I am the force.
Kevin used tailwind.
I think you got more than a tailwind. I think it's more of a hurricane.
Use tailwind on the way there and then hurricane on the way back. That's what it is.
Oh, perfect.
Alrighty, folks. So let's get back to the thing. Oh, are you subtle dabbing from the people who are using the subtle dabs?
Yeah, they gotta use their points now.
Have we gotten any others?
Not that I've seen.
That we need to be paying attention to? Not this. No. Okay, great. Here we go. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Folks, before the break, I said that we were going to be talking about Jenning. And again, this is a topic that a lot of creators and a lot of people, they particularly try to stay away from the topic, and with, good reason. It's kind of the same way that not a lot of people talk about like Pokemon Showdown, because it's something that is, not supported, but it's widely used, and a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. Lots of people already saying some stuff in the comments, which fantastic. Keep on doing that. I'm going to be reading those comments later. So if you have opinions on Jenning, please do let me know. But in the meantime, I'm going to start talking about some notes that I've made.
This is the opinion podcast.
It's the opinion podcast. So quick disclaimer. We're not going to be talking about any services or programs that do any of these things mainly out of respect for the Pokemon company. Dap dap. We're just going to be talking about the fact that everybody knows that it's happening. We're going to talk about, why it's a good thing, why it's a bad thing, and you guys can make your own decisions. Because really, at the end of the day, it's all just up to you, right? So, I want to frame this like this: Pokemon is a unique esport that it's one of the only major games that requires you to go through a major amount of single player experience. To get to the meat and potatoes of competitive, right?
Yes.
Some people,
there's not a lot of other esports that make you do all that.
Right. You look at StarCraft, you can play 2 games and then go to the majors. You'll lose, but you can do it. Some people consider playing through the game just like a means to an end at this point. The end being, VGC or previously before it got nerfed by TPCI, Smogon. Once you've beaten the game, right, you get to go into the end game. That's pretty much going to mirror what you're going to do in true competitive. So, you're going through the battle tower, you're playing the AI, and then you go online and you start matchmaking. But you're going to get smoked if you go in with just the Pokemon that you've been playing with. So you get into EV training, you get into IV breeding, or at this point, IV training through bottle caps or mints or vitamins or TRs or TMs or anything else that gets your Pokemon to the maximum of what its programmed potential is, right? Every Pokemon has a set of parameters that it can have: a max of this attack, a min of this attack, a max of this speed, a min of this speed, HP, defense, special attack, defense, all of those things.
And as much as you love your Overgrow Rillaboom that you carry it along with you throughout the whole story, you don't want to love it. You don't love it enough to bring it on ladder with you,
right?
For sure.
And in comes the ability patch, and they're like, all right, well, there you go. So, I mean, good on them for that, I guess.
You just got to erase all the EVs you ruined.
It's fine. It's fine. So over time, it's become more and more common to see people figuring out how to change the data of the game to recognize an added value as a Pokemon, which is basically genning. This is like a very complicated way of just saying genning. Doing this saves the person looking to make a Pokemon a ton of time, and it can also give them a super advantage in their game because, and there are pros and cons to a bunch of different perspectives. There's a gameplay perspective, there's a competitive perspective, there's an ethical perspective. Like they all kind of talk to each other. Right? So in the gameplay perspective, it gives you a major edge. You can hack in any Pokemon that you want, put in any kind of value, and just kind of go blast through your game because maybe you want the story or maybe you want to get to the end game or something like that. And the general consensus to that is it's not really an issue that impacts other people. If it's your game, you can kind of do what you want.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I like to experience the game how I experienced it. I want to experience the game from getting a level 5 Grookey until the end of the game. I won't be,
Nowadays, the game is so easy. You shouldn't have to gen for it to beat the story.
Exactly.
No offense to people that do have to do that, but you shouldn't have to do that.
But the game does, push you in a direction to get you to do that. To get you there at the end of the day. Where it really becomes a problem is in competitive. And by a problem, I mean an ethics problem, right? So Pokemon has done its part, right? It's made checks for inconsistencies in its data. So if you go in with 6 Pokemon, any one of which doesn't fit those parameters that I mentioned earlier, they will block you. They will get you out of there. You will not be able to play the game online with other people. That's where they would
even ban your account.
Yes.
It's gotten to the point where it's that serious. If you are generating your Pokemon, you really have to make sure they fit within those parameters. Yes. And if you don't, you could ruin your game.
Exactly. So because of all that, the behavior isn't encouraged, but that being said, there aren't consequences for creating illegal Pokemon, because why would there be consequences for creating something that works within their parameters?
Mm-hmm.
But that's where the ethics problem comes in. It's all like it's a trust factor. They're trusting that you won't do that. And if you do that, it's kind of a betrayal of their trust, but at the same time, there are pros and cons, right? So on the pro side, it's mostly time-based things. Like, you can create Pokemon faster, you can create teams, and you can test faster. You can change EV spreads and natures faster without having to go through all of the purchasing of mints and whatever, which is fine and cool. But again, like, they've made it a currency. And when you make it a currency, it's like you have to grind through the game to actually get it. In most cases, in most cases it's fine, but then when you do it a couple of times and you really get up there and you're testing, you just run out of time or you run out of currency. It's one of the two.
Yeah, it sounds like the common denominator here is time. Time is the biggest concern for people who gen. It's the biggest concern for people who are for genning, against genning. They're like, oh, but I had to, grind my team out. It took me 500 plus hours.
Right.
Does that really support a competitive metagame, though, if it's taking you 500 plus hours just to get one team ready?
Well, and again, like, forbid if you have to actually make any kind of changes either, especially EVs. Like, EVs are the most involved thing if you get to like high end metagame, and then on the other side of things, like the cons is that some people do take that kind of time. Some people enjoy taking that kind of time. It's not the way that the game was originally meant to be played, or the way that like those Pokemon were meant to be enjoyed, and that's just kind of a fact. Like, they didn't make this game for it to be hacked.
Yeah, I mean they have systems implemented, even more so nowadays. Like, if we go all the way back to Gen 4, getting competitively viable legendaries for VGC in Gen 4 was nearly impossible. You didn't have bottle caps, you didn't have anything, right? Like, and they weren't like legal in Gen 4, but Gen 5 had like VGC years. I don't remember them specifically. Like 2013 had legendaries in them. Those legendaries had to be 31 IVs, or else you were just at a competitive disadvantage. So what do you do? As from like a competitive standpoint, you're at a point where if you want to win the game and play the best possible, you're almost forced to hack.
Yeah.
Because you will be at a disadvantage otherwise. But then that also gets you into the ethics of, oh, well, if I'm at a disadvantage, then everyone should be at a disadvantage. But it's different now, especially because now you can have any legendary Pokemon 31 IVs, right? It's kind of, it's in the game. It's programmed in the game. You have mints, vitamins, etc., bottle caps, golden bottle caps, ability patches. Like, you have everything at our disposal. The only thing we're missing is like something to make 0 IVs, but I guess we can't ask for too much yet.
Right. And I mean, again, the point can be made and is being made in the comments right now, which I love, by the way. Again, good job with the counterpoints. Good job with the points. Saying what team are you making in Gen 8 that takes more than 10 hours? And that's true. And that is very, very true. But I feel like right now, what a lot of people are doing is, because you can't front load any kind of testing, people are spending a lot of time on Showdown. And if you're spending a lot of time on Showdown, that's the exact same thing. You're spending all this time doing things super quickly and practicing super quickly so that you can make your team in game, right? Mm-hmm. So you're either going to front load it on Showdown or you're going to front load it in game. You're going to make your tweaks. The tweaks are going to be hard to make. And it's just going to be kind of an aggravating procedure to have to use the in-game currency to remove your EVs, IVs, or change your EVs, and then get right back into it. So, I mean, again, it's not so much of a time commitment anymore in Gen 8. Thankfully, not as much as it was before, but it still isn't something that creates immediately, right? And then, of course, again, as I keep saying, the ethics issue, like Pokemon is one of the only esports that requires this kind of major time investment to get to its end game. Now, granted, one could say that you need to spend a lot of time to get really good in any esport, but then you also have to do that in the end game, which takes about 30 to 40 hours to get to in the first place.
Yeah.
You know? So like sometimes it can take just as long to understand the game of Pokemon as it can to understand any other esport in Pokemon's endgame, which is kind of self-inflicted. As I've said multiple times in the past, like TBCI and Game Freak basically made a game that was single battles until the end. So you're already going into it without the full knowledge of VGC, and you know, they're in order to compensate for that, they create a system where it's easy to get those Pokemon battle ready and easy to get them up to where the high end players are wanting to get them to. And I mean, to make a whole team out of that requires a lot of time investment. It requires a lot of thinking, which is good.
Yeah. And I think the reason why Showdown has so much success is because of the fact that time that you're not spending team building, you're spending actually learning how to play the game.
Yeah.
Which is a completely different skill set. Like, I'm not going to say that team building isn't a skill set of VGC. It very much so is.
Right.
But the process of team building is not a skill set.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like your goal is to get some ice cream, but instead of walking to the corner store, you decide to walk 14 miles away to get some ice cream from one specific location. So it's like, it's a very long journey to get to where you play the competitive, when that time could be spent just playing competitive, right? It's like, here's the Pokemon I want to use. And it's such a commitment too, right?
It is.
When you build a team and you spend hours building teams, you spend hours resetting for legends, and like you finally get those Pokemon, spend hours giving them EVs and going through that process.
That's also not the way the game was meant to be played, by the way, too, right?
And then you bring them online, right?
Yeah.
And you don't like the team, now what?
Yeah.
It's so much harder.
A really good point was made saying that, to be fair, Pokemon is really different from any esport, so it means we can't really compare it with other competitive games. And that is 100% correct. As an esport, we as competitors are super, super cool with just letting the game be the game and letting the sport be the sport. However, for me as an esport enthusiast, and as me as somebody who wants to get as many people into this game and as many people able to access the intricacies of this game as possible, it needs to have more accessibility, which, again, they are making leaps and bounds. They're making strides getting it there. But, you know, it just, again, compared to other esports, and, you know, as an esports enthusiast, we fully can make this comparison. It's just harder. It just takes a lot more time. Yeah. But I will say that it's also somewhat self-inflicted in that TPCI has created a shifting meta that changes every 2 months now with their series, right? So some people, they either find it hard to catch up, and that could just be due to the nature of esports. It's fast, it shifts, it's dynamic, but people get bored faster, right? And so that means people want to get to where they want to be faster. And so again, that means that you're either pushing your people over to third-party services, or you're pushing them to create their Pokemon so that they can get into it as soon as possible.
I've always said that Game Freak should just create a game that functions like Showdown.
Yeah.
That is just an online game. But they'll never do this. Because it would have the same success as Showdown, with all the nice, pretty animations that Showdown lacks. And just like the competitive nature
Yeah.
of the game would skyrocket. But at the same time, you get that split, right? You get the split of the casual and competitive that Pokemon tries to hold so tightly knit and so dear that like even like casual experiences like playing through the games with like common sense things like Tapu's getting their terrain moves don't happen because competitive exists, and they're like, we can't give them this because then it breaks that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Creighton Miller says a really interesting point that I hadn't thought of going into this. Says ruining the purpose of shiny hunting, which absolutely I 100% agree with that.
Jenning does devalue shinies. I will
Very
say
much.
that.
Very much. I feel like shiny Pokemon are the epitome of luck. That is what you look at and you're like, wow, that person got really lucky or spent a lot of time hunting for that shiny. So when you see somebody who comes in and just has one because they have one, it's just like, okay, well, where's all that time? Which I guess in the past, one could also make that exact same argument with the fact that like, oh, I spent all this time creating a Pokemon that was competitively ready and competitively viable. And this other person just kind of made it. But I think the comparison is a little weaker in that, you can compete with the shiny or the non-shiny Pokemon as well. So it's like one is stopping you from playing the game and the other is stopping you from enjoying the color palette of a Pokemon that you really like.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a good point.
But it was a very good, really good point there.
Well, that's where the competitive and the casual audience split, right? It's the whole shiny hunting thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't impact competitive, but I understand why they would be upset that some people are just able to just come in here, whip out their shiny illegal Galarian birds and be like, hey, I'm still using this on ladder, teehee.
Tofu comes in with but if you take 20 hours learning how to crochet a blanket and the other person buys a blanket, is the blanket any less valuable? I don't know, man. Nobody's stopping you from enjoying it. Yeah, that's true. The
one thing that I can get behind though is as long as the Pokemon are performing in the parameters of said intended purposes.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't have 7,000 IVs and EVs on your Pokemon while playing against me on the ladder, I don't care.
Right.
As long as I have the same advantage you do, I do not care. And people, especially now, like it's, I don't want to say it's easy to get competitive Pokemon, but it's easier. And also, we're all like most people that play competitive Pokemon. Like if you look at like the age groups, it's a lot of old guys and girls. Like we're a lot of old people that play competitive Pokemon. It's not kids for the most part. It's mostly Masters players.
Right.
And we have jobs, we have college, we have a lot of things to do when you're an adult that you just obviously don't have that same amount of.
We got things to do over here, man. Come on.
There's a lot of things in life, right?
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse because it's like you got to put in the time in some cases, but there are some things that you just kind of have to give people a break on. And so like a lot of TOs have kind of landed on that in particular. They're like, well, we want people in our tournaments. We want people participating. So they set up the rule instead that's like, if you're caught using agenda Pokemon, you're out. Like zero tolerance for cheating.
Mm-hmm.
But if you make a Pokemon that's legal and they have like legit machines and softwares and like methods to check if a Pokemon is legal, then more power to you. And play the game.
I remember in 2016 they really went hard on that. It was they would go back and check the Pokemon's memories. So if the Pokemon had no memories, they knew it wasn't a Pokemon that ran through the game. Yeah.
That's so freaky. Let me scan your memories.
Let me search your mind.
Search your mind. Open your mind. That's hilarious, though, and that makes a lot of sense. They have to see. So, what did Jenners have to do? Do they have to Like
You
actually
can
manipulate the
you,
memories.
you can add in memories. Yeah,
A
you
true
can add in
clone.
memories. Um, I think now there's a similar thing with weight and height. You have to like if you have a Pokemon from Gen 7, it has to have weight and height. If you have like a Pokemon from Gen 8, they're not required to do so. This seems to be the gen that they lightened up a lot in terms of genning. They're just like, okay, whatever. You have Gen Mons, just make it through the battle ready mark. You can use it online.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Like, just make sure it gets this mark. We'll clean up the Pokemon for you. It'll be illegal to use.
Mm-hmm. And I should clarify because I'm seeing some people making comments that like, oh, does that mean that people who gen don't have time? That's not true. It's kind of where you value your time. There are some people who value their time practicing. There are some people that value their time creating their teams. And both of those are equally valid. You know, if you take enjoyment out of creating your team, do it. If you take enjoyment out of practicing with your team, do it. Whether that's, again, on Showdown, whether that's creating a Pokemon and seeing what works and doesn't work and making subtle tweaks, do it.
I also want to mention real quick.
Yeah.
A lot of the opinions we're giving are general statements. They don't apply to everybody.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, there are some people that do it for time reasons. I think that's a valid reason as to why some people do it. Some people just like sparkly Pokemon, like squares coming out of boxes.
It's not always so black and white or black 2 and white 2. It's it's a rainbow rocket of situations. I'm trying to think different strokes for different folk.
How many Pokemon puns you gonna include in one sentence? It's a rainbow rocket of situation.
I'm sure there's a Pokemon that starts with folk.
There's no Pokemon that starts with folk.
That's a shame. Different strokes for different favorites. Volcarona! You did it. Okay.
I didn't try that hard.
Yeah, I mean there have been people who catch people who gen even in live tournaments. A lot of where people kind of see if someone's using a fake Pokemon or not comes from the Pokeball, if you can believe that. There's a very specific example, and I know, Kevin, you know it, so I'm going to let you explain one of those.
Well, just keeping names out of it. There was a competitive player that won a major tournament using a Dream Ball Aegislash.
That's right.
Dream Balls were only available in Gen 5, where you were able to get Pokemon from the Dream World. They would have the Dream Ball, and that would be a whole thing. They were able to have their hidden abilities through that. Well, Aegislash wasn't in Gen 5, so there is technically no legal way to get a Dream Ball on Aegislash, at least not at the time.
Right.
And the person ended up winning the major tournament. It sparked a lot of controversy in the community. Probably more controversy than it deserved. Like, yeah, that person did win with a quote-unquote illegal Pokemon because that should not be in that ball. You can go, but a lot of people were actually on his side saying that ball gave him no competitive advantage, right? That ball did not give him anything except
Pokemon
an aesthetic.
Gave him no competitive advantage.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's just like the situation there. And then the person in question was just like, "Oh, it was traded to me." And the thing is, you can trade those online, so you can go back and say, "Oh, well, they didn't have a good hack checker because you were able to trade this Pokemon online. So if the hack checker doesn't care, why should the competitors care?" And then people were saying
crime.
And people were saying things like, "Oh, revoke his win." But then who do you give it to? Do you have to go all the way back to all of his matches and revoke every match and then replay them? Like, no. Like once you make it that far, you made it that far, right?
Right.
And I think TPCI decided not to take action of it simply because, like I said, it gave him no competitive advantage to be in a different ball.
It also takes a lot of resources to track things like that down, and it's just like, again, at the end of the day, they're playing with Pokemon that are otherwise legal. So it's like at that point, if they crack down, it's a catch-22 because like if they crack down on that, then that's pushing more people away from their game, and they don't want to be doing that. They don't want people to be playing online. They don't want people to be practicing on Showdown. They want people to be practicing on their internet ladder.
their consoles.
On their consoles, exactly.
I mean that goes back to like I'm gonna keep saying this point because I think it's a good point. They need a competitive game. They need a casual game because you would remove the need for genning. You would remove the need to play on external sources. You would remove the time needed to build the team versus just learn to play the team.
Yes.
But yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's all of our 2 cents. And I want to really thank all of the people in Twitch and just chat in general who has been dropping their opinions, their thoughts. Fantastic people. You guys are all amazing. I respect all of your opinions, and I think that, you know, on a lot of levels, a lot of the points on, you know, both the for and against are correct. It's just kind of the world we live in. And it's our job to talk about it.
Thanks for keeping it civil too, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Chat didn't devolve, and I love that.
Yeah, I was a little bit afraid when, because like this topic is always a sketchy topic to talk about, especially on a public forum. So I was really sketched out. I was like, I just really hope that eruption doesn't happen in the chat and we don't have to like go super hard moderator mode. But you guys are doing a great job, so thank you so much for that.
You guys rock. All right, so I promised everybody a second announcement at the end of today's podcast, and that announcement is that we have a new Pokésports Plus coming out tomorrow, November 16th. The person that we're speaking with, because of course, for anybody who's new, Pokésports Plus is an extra podcast that we do, where we speak with different members of the Pokemon community about different topics all around the board. We are going to be speaking with Steve, or SBJ, from It's Super Effective. If anybody has heard of that podcast, probably have, because it's one of the major ones in Pokemon. So we're very lucky and very honored to speak with him. And that's going to be out tomorrow morning. So everybody make sure you go and check that out. It's a real good time.
If you guys are wondering where to find it, it's just every podcast provider possible.
Correct. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Speaking of those, make sure you go and check us out there at Pokésports, a competitive Pokemon podcast, or on YouTube, now streaming exclusively on YouTube. At youtube.com/Pokésports. You can follow us on Twitter at PokésportsPod or Instagram at PokésportsPodcast. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and follow us on Patreon, patreon.com/PokésportsPodcast, where we do all kinds of super fun stuff, including the league, which is just in its middle of the month. We're right in there. It's a lot of fun, including, but maybe not including if they didn't join, but patrons like Ahmed, Sweet, Dante, Elijah, Zach, Colton, Sheldon, Alex A, and V, Brian, Carlo, Lights Out, Lewis, Neil, Roixon, Ryan, Scott, Josh, Dustin, Jack S, Jack B, and Jack C. Pause. I have a request. If anybody out there is named Jack A, our lowest tier is $3 a month. Just consider it. Because we are so close from having an S tier, A tier, B tier, and C tier Jack. We are just almost there.
Jesse, wait, I just realized we have a new Jack. I think we made a call for more Jacks, and we got a new Jack. So thank you, Jack, for stopping by.
Yes, it's happened. I've manifested Jack A. Jesse, Jolly, Joseph, Martine, Rowan, Spencer, T-Mad IM. Welcome. Jonathan, level 1 Pidgey, stay chillin'. Level 1 Pidgey. It's tough out there for a level 1 Pidgey. Federico, Greg, Jason, King Boo, LA Caveman, Mallory, Soen, welcome. Ryan, who was not the Ryan from the top of the list, as you will all recall. Tristan, and of course, Mod Tofu, who's doing a lot of work. Major big shout out to Mod Tofu for doing a lot of work in both the league and the PokePod Cup. You rock. And don't know where I would be without you. Kevin, you're all right. Thanks to M Dash for every single second of every single piece of music you hear on this podcast. An amazing person. Go and check out M Dash. And folks, that's going to be the end of the podcast. So enjoy your day, enjoy your week, enjoy your month, and we will see you next week. Got anything to say, Kevin?
Guys. Yes. If you haven't already, become a what is it called? Contributor, benefactor, $10 patron. We will be streaming every Tuesday and Thursday, exclusive to YouTube's. We have some group coaching on Tuesday, and then Mike does Mike's thing on Thursday.
Mike does Mike's thing on Thursday.
Mike does what Mike does. I mean, he played Hades last time for all we know. Mike's an open book here. He'll do whatever he feels like.
It was fun.
So yeah, we'll be doing that. Make sure to check that out.
That's true. If you're here for the for the Thursday stream, you're gonna see a lot less stuff behind me. Let me tell you that much. I'll tell you all about how moving's been going there as well.
That is true. Are you gonna be ready to stream, or am I gonna have to take over?
So that's the thing. I might be. I hope so. If everything works out, it's just gonna be a quick bing bang boom, move all my stuff, connect the wires, and good to go. But sometimes things come up. We'll see. I hope not.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. If you guys want to see me get frozen twice during a battle on my road, I'm Heat, and you could always check me out on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube as well. That's for everyone. You don't have to be a patron for that one.
All right, let's end the podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, we've got beans. We've got beans.
Maybe you got beans. But
folks, if you're here on YouTube and you're not sure what's about to happen here, on Twitch, we do a nice little thing called channel points. And for channel points, you are given a certain amount for interacting and for being a member of the chat and for doing stuff. What's going to happen is they use their channel points for us to eat a Bean Boozled bean, which is one of these guys right over here. Kevin, how many do you have left?
See, I have this whole box left.
Okay.
But this whole box is very unlucky for me. So I'm considering opening my second box.
Oh, Kevin,
that's still in wrapper.
Oh god, I got a whole tin of them, so I'm still good to go for quite a bit. What I've done is I've reduced the channel points for Bean Boozled Beans, because we're having a party now, I guess, to just 7,000, not 7,000, 9,000. I'm also seeing that Crispy and Banditti doing a lot of the subtle dabs, which was another one, and a lot of posture checks, which was another one. But yeah, this one right here is going to be for El Scorcho, who says it begins.
Oh no.
So Kevin, I'm pulling out one of these pink guys right over here. You have one of those handy?
I got a lot of brown.
This one's Tutti Frutti or Stinky Socks.
I just got pink, but there's no... Oh, I'm sketched out. I got pink, but there's no dots in it, so I'm sure it's not Tutti Frutti.
That's all aesthetic, right? I hope.
I hope so.
Okay.
It begins.
It begins.
They're all losers. Okay.
Here we go, Kevin. Right. 3, 2, 1, hop. And
yes.
First one of the day. Kevin and I both got Tutti Frutti.
That's a good one.
Okay.
You guys are wasting your points.
That's not what people want to hear or see.
Okay.
Next up, then, in that case, Angel Lost 95. We all know him. We all love him. Mr. Pierre himself says, "Bye, Twitch." Puts a... Okay, I'm pulling out a... this one's got a lot of red on it, but it's an orange one.
Tutti Frutti's too sweet. Oh, that's a dead fish one. Don't do that.
Oh, no. No, I think this one is peach or barf.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Which
I got that.
Might be worse.
Okay, I'm scared.
I've never had that one yet, and I'm scared too.
What does barf taste like?
Galstan.
I guess we all...
Galstan. Okay, Galstan. All right, here we go.
Ready?
Yeah, no, I'm not. 3, 2, 1, hop. No, I picked the dead fish one by accident. No, this is dead fish. Oh, dude, Kevin, no, this is dead fish.
Wait, barf ain't that... Okay, real talk, barf ain't that bad.
Oh, no, Kevin.
Maybe it's because I went through college, but this is kind of simple for me. I wouldn't eat this enjoyably.
No, you
wouldn't.
But I
could have it now. That's a scary thought.
4 posture checks. Okay. Spac to
People on
Titian.
YouTube
Spac to
so
is it Spac to no? Spac to Titan. Spac to Titan. VGC says that's not so subtle. It's not such a subtle dad. And you know what? I think that's part of the irony of it. You know what?
Because every time I look at that name, I think spatula
Yeah, that's fair.
instead of Titan.
I should just basically be subtle dabbing this whole way through. People are just dumping their channel points.
How can we be that subtle?
All right, folks. I think we've got another one down here. Let me see. Oh my gosh. I think we've got another one, I say. Shark Dad, LNX Banditti, and Tofu all dropped a Bean Boozled Bean basically at the same time about 10 minutes ago.
Okay, let's do Booger Juicy Pear. We have to all do different ones. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna regret this one. Do we dare do Rotten Egg?
Okay. I'm not gonna say
we haven't
no.
done that one in a long time.
And then wait, my request is, can we add in a potential toothpaste to kind of cleanse the palate?
Okay, I was gonna say stink bug, but
no,
I kind of want to.
Ending on a stink bug. Get out of here.
I'm only saying stink bug because we've never tried it and we've never gotten stink bug.
Okay.
So we're gonna go our whole lives without knowing what it is.
So
unless we do this again.
Fair enough. So this one is going to be not all three at the same time. We should do like one, say the taste. 2, say the taste. 3, say the taste. Yeah.
Let's replace rotten egg since we've had that one already with stink bug.
Okay.
I don't know what a stink bug tastes like.
I don't know either, but honestly, it's white with like brown spots on it. So if that
sounds about
anything.
just as good as it tastes.
Yeah.
I mean, toasted marshmallow is pretty good. You could get toasted marshmallow.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, which one are we starting with, or are we not going?
Let's start with the pear.
Okay.
Or so booger. Pear or booger. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hop. This one's pear. I got a pear. All right. Next up, Kevin. You ready?
Wait. No, what? I still have it in my mouth.
Okay. Spatula Titan. Yeah. Except with a C in there. Posture check.
It tastes like. You ever just have like congestion and go, like that's what it.
Oh.
I just got it twice. Okay.
Oh god.
We'll save toothpaste for last, right? This is stink bug now.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to spit this one out because I'm imagining what this tastes like, and I don't think I can handle it.
If it's stink bug and you don't want to spit it out, or if you think that you don't have to spit it out, just go for the next one immediately. If it's toothpaste, it cleanses. If it's berry blue, that's berry blue.
Cleanses. Yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hop.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. I got toasted marshmallow. Oh, okay.
So happy. I'm so happy we still don't have to find out what that one is.
That is the taste of a breath of fresh air. Oh,
and now we can't lose on this one.
Can't lose. Can't lose. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I've never gotten blueberry though. I finally got the blueberry.
Me too.
What a day to end on. You guys wasted all your stupid points. See you on YouTube, losers.
Tugboat Zero says, how is toothpaste bad? Isn't it just mint?
Yeah, that's why. That's kind of like why we decided for it. We can kind of tolerate that one.
Mm-hmm. Blueberry was indeed Tofu's, and I think that might be it. Mm-hmm.
I think that toothpaste in a setting where you don't expect it can be bad. There can be an overwhelming sense of toothpaste. You know?
That is fair. Yeah. There can be an overwhelming toothpaste. Right now, my 3-year-old daughter cannot stand mint toothpaste. If I brush my teeth, or Joanna brushes her teeth, and then we're like near her, she's like, nah.
What do kids use for toothpaste then?
There's there's like a toddler toothpaste that like doesn't have
just
fluoride.
Sugar.
Yeah,
just sugar and toothpaste.
Kind of. Like it's just goop. It's harder water. Also, by the way, if there are any parents out there who are looking for a decent show to put on for their kids that is both entertaining for you and entertaining for them, Storybots. Ask the Storybots. Beautiful Netflix show. I believe it's rather new, but wow, chef's kiss. So good. So good. Do a lot of music. It's a lot of fun. Very informative.
It looks cute.
Mm-hmm. All right. And that's boom. That's the end of the podcast. Imagine that.
Hey,
I want to thank. Where was it? There you are.
everybody.
I want to thank Moxie Boosted for supporting us on the very last day of Twitch. Who is aware, as far as I understood from the chat, who was aware that this was the last day of us streaming on Twitch and still made the conscious choice to support us regardless. You're awesome and amazing, and I thank you for that.
Thanks, Marcos.
Yes, and as a parting gift, let's see if there's anybody that we can raid on Twitch.
Rating on YouTube is going to be different now.
Rating on YouTube is going to be impossible now.
No, we just post the link.
Oh, true. This. Okay.
Just post the link.
Oh, that's a very good point.
We do it the old school way.
Oh man, is that a thing? If it's not, it totally should be.
We go into YouTube, we type the word VGC or Pokemon, go to filters, put live now, and then we just pick one. Easy piece. Well, a little complicated, but easy piece.
Right.
Everyone say bye to Twitch.
Bye, everybody. Everybody, I want you to press F in Twitch, please.
There's also the last place you can use Pokéspa Cringe and Pokéspa What's until we get some more members on YouTube. Those are the next ones.
I believe we may or may not be like 1 or 2 away.
Oh, okay.
We've definitely unlocked one. We just need to unlock the other. Put them both up.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of ones you got to put in together.
Yeah,
those go nice together.
All right, folks. We've got Steph of Anime doing some stuff today. No, wait. Is Jessica Henlow doing Series 7? Yes, she is. Okay, Jessica Henlow.
She also has a podcast, Metrodome Podcast.
Yes, so. It's very good. They just recently did like a 7-person roundtable, which was really sick. But you know what? You'd think it'd be chaotic. It was not chaotic. They were very respectful of everybody's time. Gems was on it. Gems from our Discord. Gems, the moderator, moderator, nice. One of the moderators of the PokePod Cup. Representative from ATX was there.
Sending love to whoever had to edit a 7-person audio podcast. I pray for you.
Right. So let me just go and get the raid set up. Jessica Henlow. Okay, so everybody go and make sure you get your highs and hypes and any fun things you got lined up. Because we're going for a raid in 3, 2, 1, and raid now. And for everybody else who is still here on YouTube and Twitch, thank you very much for watching. We will see you